Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another episode. My name is Duke Otieno and this is the Inside Health, a channel where we try to break down medical and health topics into simple and clear language that you can understand. Today we have an interesting topic that we would like to discuss on, and this takes me to the question, and not just a question but also a scenario. Lately we've been hearing of shocking news. A young person collapsed, an athlete died, someone who is in their 20s or 30s maybe just gone from something like a heart attack. And some people blame stress, some blame the COVID vaccine, some blame the gym supplements, others blame I don't know whether it's witchcraft or whatever it can be. So, but today we want to try and put fear aside and talk about facts in a very simple language. Sudden cardiac death is when the heart suddenly stops beating properly. This can be due to what we call an electrical problem. In the heart, we also have the electrical mechanism of how the heart functions. So when there is a sudden stop in the electrical problem of the heart, this can lead to the heart stopping. So this is different from a normal heart attack, which can be caused by blocked blood vessels, and this can happen anywhere, be it at home, be it in the gym, be it while sleeping, or even when you are doing your sports activities. And sometimes the person never knew they had a heart problem. So, what are some hidden heart conditions from birth that can cause this? Many young people who have collapsed have been undiagnosed with any form of heart condition since they were born. And some of these conditions that might have been missed in terms of diagnosis include things like a thick heart muscle. We also have what we call abnormal heart rhythms. We also have what we call weak heart muscles. So, of course, these have their medical terms, but today I don't want us to use the medical terms to just describe some of these issues that people can be born with and they don't know it is an issue. So, weak heart muscle, abnormal heart rhythms, and thick heart muscle. These conditions can stay silent for years until one day the heart rhythms becomes dangerous. And some warning signs that people should never ignore include something like fainting during exercise. You see, someone who's just doing some exercise and then suddenly faints, comes back. This is a sign that no one should ever ignore. Chest pains during activities. Maybe you are hitting the gym, you are doing some exercise, and then you feel some chest pain. This is again something very important that should never be ignored. Heart racing for no reason. You are just chilled, you're just relaxed, but you're feeling your heart is racing. Again, should never be ignored. And finally, if in your family lineage there is a member who died suddenly at a young age, cannot be explained, like there's no information about what might have really caused the death. These are just some of the red flags that should never ever be ignored. This begs to the issue on the modern lifestyle. This modern lifestyle is training young hearts. Like a very good example in today's lifestyle is very different from what was 30 years ago. Young people nowadays have poor sleep, they have high stress levels, they eat junk food, they sit for very long hours, they have issues with obesity. Obesity is really increasing, especially for the young adults lately. What does this issues lead to? The junk food, the long sitting hours, the obesity. It leads to things like high blood pressure, things like diabetes, and high cholesterol levels. These are not just things for old. It's not like an old people disease anymore. These days it's showing up in people in their 20s, in their 30s, so it's no longer an old people kind of disease. Then let's talk about the gym supplements and steroids. This one is a big one. Some of these gym supplements, they contain high stimulants, unknown chemicals, and also steroid like substances. People love shortcuts, steroids, to make them build the muscles, make them look strong, to have that kind of a body that any other person will desire to have. So steroids and certain performance drugs usually thicken the heart muscle. Some even raise blood pressure, and for some they trigger what we call they trigger the heart rhythms. Yes, the heart rhythms. The heart now starts pumping not in the normal way as it's been doing, but now it's like a different pattern in the way the heart beats. So some young men generally are pushing for fast muscle gain, not knowing that they are putting their hearts at risk by using some of these gym supplements. Then another big issue, the energy drinks and alcohol. Mixing these energy drinks with alcohol is very common, but it's very, very risky. Energy drinks generally increase your heart rate, they raise your blood pressure, they trigger palpitation. So when they are mixed with alcohol or drugs like cocaine, some people use what we call tramadol, or some people are using shisha. The heart is pushed beyond its safe limit. For someone who has undiagnosed heart condition, that can be deadly. Remember, this person thinks their body is okay, but it's not. Then they pump all these things into their body, so it ends up being deadly. Then a very important question: what about the COVID vaccine? You know, this is one of the biggest fear that people are currently having. And let's be honest and clear. Some of these COVID vaccines were linked to some of this heart inflammation, mostly in this young group of people. But these cases, honestly, have been very uncommon. And for some people, it's been very mild. And for some people, they have actually fully recovered. So heart complications from COVID infection itself were actually more common than from the vaccine. Right now, there is no scientific evidence showing that vaccines are causing widespread and sudden death in these young people. So it's very important that we focus on the bigger and proven risks that are affecting our young people and not COVID vaccine. So, what are some of the signs that you should never ignore as an individual? Please take this part very, very seriously and see a doctor if you have any of these. These include chest pains during exercise, fainting or almost fainting, fast and irregular heartbeats, severe breathlessness. It's like you're struggling to breathe, and if there is that family history of sudden death. We have some very simple tests that can be done when you see a doctor, something like ECG, something like the heart scan, the blood pressure check. Yes, they appear very common things that we know, but trust me, this can save life. How do we protect our heart? Protecting the heart is not rocket science. It's not very complicated. Very simple things that we need to do. Things like ensuring that you check your blood pressure like on a yearly basis or as frequent as possible. Avoid what we call unregulated supplements. Ensure you don't mix energy drinks with alcohol. Make sure you exercise, but don't overdo extreme to those what we call extreme training. Know your family medical history. Ensure that you sleep enough and eat real food, not just food. When I talk not just food, I'm talking about the junk kind of food. So ensure you eat real food. Ensure that you have a healthy diet, not just eating for the sake of eating. I want us to replace this fear with facts that we just talked about previously. And please take the simple steps that can save your life. If you find this video helpful, please share it with the people that you know or people that you feel really needs to get to know this information. My name is Duke Otieno, and this has been the Inside Health. See you in the next video.